Hey, UBM leaders! I'm so excited to come to you live tonight on this Friday night. If you are like me, Friday night is sometimes for book ladying because that's an idea of a good Friday night to me. And so if you are up either working on your book business or wishing you were working on your book business, come on, join the live and we can chat about some fun launch party stuff. So, hey everybody, I'm so excited. Hi Tina! Oh my gosh, hi Tina! Okay, I feel like I just virtually saw a celebrity. Okay, so here's what we're going to talk about. I was so excited that I got this topic of how a launch party can teach a new consultant vital lessons for their future business, because I feel so passionately about the fact that I use my own launch party. It wasn't even a launch party. We'll get to that in a second. Constantly when I'm coaching my hostesses specifically and recruiting, to the point where I wish I had kept a diary when I was new. I should probably just start one now because I know in 3 years I'll be like, I should have kept a diary back when blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so here's the thing. When people start to have trouble coaching hosts after their launch party, they either didn't learn these vital lessons from their launch party, or they're not utilizing these vital lessons that they did learn in the form of stories in order to coach their hostesses. So here is what happens. I loved that at convention, Christy Wright talked a whole lot about stories and how effective stories are when you're trying to motivate people or trying to sell a product or trying to deliver a message, how you can tell people how to do something, you can tell them why to do it, but truly just sharing a story with them initiates action, even more than giving someone steps to complete. Okay, so here is an example. When I had my very first party, it wasn't a launch because I hosted a party before I joined, right? I learned some vital lessons that I use now. And one of those lessons was that on the other side of fear, when it comes to inviting people to my party, was orders, people super happy with their books, new connections and rebudding relationships with people I had lost touch with, all of these awesome things. And so you can just automatically guarantee that people are going to have some level of fear when it comes to inviting people to their launch party. And if they can't get to the other side of fear and experience that success from their launch and learn that vital lesson, they will not be able to coach their hostesses to get onto that other side of fear when they're inviting people to the party that they're hosting. And so when I had my first party, I was afraid. I was afraid to invite more people. I actually got the message from my sister-in-law, who was my sponsor, who was running the party, that said, like, looks like inviting is going pretty well. Why don't you go ahead and send 20 more messages and try to get to this many? And then later when I became a consultant, I saw that that was the message that you were supposed to send someone when things were not going well. And I was like, oh man, okay, that was me. And so the lesson that I learned when I got that message from her and decided, like, okay, I'm going to invite more people because I want to earn that free book that she's offering me. The lesson I learned was that it was worth it, and it was scary, and you know what? Some people still ignored me and some people still said no, but I had so much better of a party, and I reconnected with so many people I wouldn't have if I hadn't have acted in spite of my fear, and I ended up with just a really awesome party. And so every time I'm coaching a host and I can just sense, she doesn't even have to say it, I can just sense that she's afraid to invite more people because maybe I've sent her an incentive to invite more people and she's just not. Maybe she's responding and saying like some things like, well, I haven't gotten a very good response, but I'll keep trying. You can just assume she's afraid. And so that's when I don't say, well, you just never know, just keep inviting people. Well, send out 40 more messages. Well, this. I just go, let me tell you a story. Let me tell you the story about when I did my very first party. I was a hostess. I was so afraid to invite people unless we were like besties or blood relatives. Like everybody else, afraid. I was afraid to invite them. And finally, I decided that I wanted that extra book that my consultant was offering me. And so even though I was afraid, I reached out to some people that I hadn't talked to as much. And I used this specific person as an example. Tara Boyd, are you here, sister? I'm talking about you. Tara Boyd was somebody that I messaged a PM. I usually send it as a voice message. Tabitha, very good question. So I send it, I'm gonna have to read the comments later. I send it, I tell them about Tara because I invited Tara Boyd after I kind of got over my fear or was still afraid, and I messaged her and invited her to my party that I was hosting. I wasn't even the consultant for it. And I told her, hey, Tara, I love seeing pictures of your daughter. I don't know if she had Lucy at the time. Anyway, I love seeing pictures of your girls. They're so cute. I wish we lived closer. I thought of you because you're a speech language pathologist. I see you reading with your girls. I'm having this book party. Would you be interested in coming? They're really awesome books, blah, blah, blah. And then I added something like, look, if you don't want to come, that's fine. And so there was a little pressure release at the end. She wrote back and said, yes, we read all the time. I use books with my clients. Let's do it. So she came. She loved the books. She decided to host, and then she decided to join, and then she promoted to executive level with our company and was able to dial down on her speech language pathology business. And so I even tell my hostesses that, because what a great little recruiting nugget to be able to say, without even saying, do you want to join, but to be able to say, look, I invited this girl to my launch party. I was so afraid to invite her because all I ever do is just like her pictures. We grew up on the same street, but I haven't really seen her since then. She ended up hosting her own party, joining, and then promoting to an executive level within our company. So you actually don't know if inviting somebody you don't talk to very much is going to give them a business opportunity that's going to change their life. And so I always talk about Tara because I was so afraid to invite Tara, which is so funny to me now because guess what? We got to reconnect through this business and become really great friends as adults, just like we were as children. So that is a story I just have. I know exactly how to tell it because I learned that vital lesson that on the other side of fear when inviting people to a party is reconnections. Life's changed because of the business, orders, hostesses, all the things. And so if your new consultants can experience that feeling that comes from acting in spite of their fear and then the success that follows, they are going to be able to coach their hostesses so much better. It's so hard to coach a host to do something that you couldn't even do. If our new consultants cannot invite, even though they're afraid to invite people, how are they going to coach people to? You know, they can't. And so their launch party is so important. It's so important that we coach them through these fears. Another great vital lesson that they can learn from their launch party is that they've got to remind people to come to their party. So let's say they invited a bunch of people, they got their RSVPs, and then these people are just going to show up, right? They're just going to show up to the party after you invited them. Nope. Have you ever had one of those parties where it's like 30 people invited and crickets on welcome post? Well, you know what was missing in that party recipe? The remind. So I have another story for that one, and it's a really good story. I think it is. It might not be. You can tell me. But when I attended a party for the first time, my sister-in-law was hosting, Katie Allen was the consultant. She had sent me that message and was like, have you ever heard of Best Born Books? You're so amazing, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yes, I'm totally up for that. That sounds amazing. Invite me. Guess what? She reminded me the day before the party, and I was like, oh yeah, the party. Okay, tomorrow night. Got it. And then I woke up the next day. I lived my whole life of motherhood, and I forgot. And at 8:28, she sent me a message. Ding. party is starting. See you on the event page. And I was literally like, what party? Oh, yes, the party. I want to go to that party. And so I tell people that so that they know that even from my perspective as a guest, I wanted to go. I was eager to go. I was excited to go. Totally forgot. Literally completely slipped my mind because a lot of stuff happened that day and my mind was elsewhere. Okay. Book parties are not like weddings. People do not have their outfit picked out weeks in advance. It's not on their calendar. They are not arranging a ride home. Okay. They have to be reminded. Okay. And so think of a story that you can tell that would go along with that vital life lesson, because just saying, hey, be sure to remind your guests because they'll forget, that ain't enough. You got to tell them a story. You can use mine if you don't have one. The other vital life lesson that they will learn from their launch party and then be able to turn that into incredible host coaching is following up with people. Guess what? You are not bothering people by following up with them. I like to tell people about how I love to shop other direct sales companies. I love to go to their parties. If I'm not partying that night, I usually have to catch it up the next day. But some of my favorites, I won't say them out loud because I feel that might just be weird. But some of my favorites, I'll have somebody invite me to a party and then they do the party and then I'm like, oh, that's cute. Or, ooh, I really need that. That would have really helped me out. Oh my goodness. And then guess what? I'm orange. I'm space cadet. I have all the excuses to forget. And even though I want to order. And there was a specific time, specifically, that I wanted to order. And then not only had the party closed when I went back to the hostess and asked her if I could place my order, but what I wanted was gone. It was sold out. I was angry. I was like, well, if you had just followed up with me, I would have my product. Okay? So that taught me a vital lesson that I need to be following up with guests. It is not bugging them, okay? It is helping them. It is ensuring them that they get this life-changing product, the books, into their home. And I don't want them to miss out on that. And I like to take it like next level. Like, what if little Tommy, he's 6. What if little 6-year-old Tommy is in that adult's family and he would have received Billy and the Mini Monsters? Because little Tommy doesn't like to read, okay? But Billy and the Mini Monsters, oh, it got him reading. But not if you don't follow up. He went to prison. I'm just kidding. But seriously, there's so much on the line here. Okay, we got to get these kids hooked on books, and you can't do it if you don't follow up. Now, inviting the right way, even though you're afraid. Learn it in your launch party. Coach your hostesses confidently through that process because you did it yourself. Reminding people to come to the party, experiencing the success that comes from it. You guys are having a crazy Friday night because I'm getting all the emotions. Reminding people to come to the party. If they do it themselves for their launch and they see that it was effective and they might even get a message back that's like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad you reminded me, then they will be able to confidently coach their hostesses to do the same. Following up with people. If they follow up from their launch party and they see more orders, I want to tell you about Carrie. Carrie is a new consultant who launched this week, and I didn't tell her to do this. I probably should have. She took it upon herself to take a couple books that she had recommended pre-party, plus add some more to a wish list, put it together and send it to people in a follow-up and be like, hey girl, or not hey girl, hey Ann, hey name, use their name. Hey Ann, I know you came to the party. Thank you for coming to the party. I recommended a couple of these books. I saw that maybe you like some of these from the party too. Just for your convenience, I have organized them. Hey Tara, Eagle Drive for Life. I have organized them into a list for you, just for your convenience, so you can see them all in one place. And whatever you choose from this list, you can just add it to your cart. Be on your merry way. Do you know what that does? Do you know how much time that saves people? Do you know that one of the greatest gifts you can give people these days is the gift of time? The gift of time, okay? We're all talking about how busy we are, how little time we have. And here you have literally wrapped up minutes of someone's day and given it to them as a gift by organizing books that they can just plop into their cart and order. She got so many orders through her follow-up doing that. And guess what? Now she has a story from a vital lesson that she learned during her launch party. So when you are coaching your new consultants through their launch party, I want you to just think about all the stories that they are collecting from their experiencing throwing their launch party experience. And think about how effective they're going to be at coaching their hosts because of that. We think like they just have to go through these steps. They just have to do this. They just have to get to that first $1,000. No, they need to collect stories, okay? Because the stories carry on to the rest of the parties for the rest of their career, okay? I hope that was helpful, and I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. I have loved hearing all of these great new consultant training tips that are surrounded by YOS and all of the great things that our amazing home office offers. I want to thank all the amazing directors for giving their time. I haven't gotten to catch up on all of them, but I'm excited to. So catch up on those if you haven't yet, and let's get all 10,000 of these new consultants from July, like making big waves in our company, you guys. This could be huge for our leadership team with UBAM. 10,000 consultants. How many future leaders are in there? How many future execs are going to be with us at ELC? Are you one of them? I hope you are, okay? See you at ELC, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Bye.